What's up YouTube, Jamie the Kid 00 here, and it's been a little while since we had ourselves a little talk. It's the new ban list, it's come out, and this ban list video is probably going to be a little bit more boring than some of my other ones. I'm not going to be picking up oodles of cards and throwing them around, because I'm not really that excited about this list. In other lists I've had loads of things to talk about, loads of things to give my opinions on, controversial picks, really interesting things. This list, and I'm sorry, and this is going to set the tone for this whole video, is boring as fuck. Now, for those of you who don't know what the changes to the list were, I'll go through them right now very quickly, and then I'm going to go through my discussions of them. So, I'm going to look away from the camera. It's very unprofessional. The changes were, on the Forbidden list, we have Morphing Jar from Limited, Morphing Jar number 2, which is very easy to see why if you followed some of the recent stuff in the next set. Limited, we have Wolfbark down to 1 from 3, Gund to 1, sorry, Mermail Abyss Gund to 1, Rekindling to 1, and Infernity Barrier to 1. I agree with all these are fair. To 2, we have Necroface moving up from 1, which is interesting. Hieratic Seal of Convocation has moved to 2 from 3. And then Unlimited, we have Magical Stone Excavation and Primal Seed. So all the things that have moved up are boring. And everything that's gone down doesn't really change the dynamic of the meta, in my opinion. Let's start moving through the list from the Forbidden list. Now, Morphing Jar being gone, I suppose, serves the same purpose as Card Destruction going, but at the same time, like the only real deck that Card Destruction is great in is Dark World at the moment, as far as I'm aware. And Dark World have done literally nothing this format. I haven't looked that much into Primal Origin because I've been very busy with uni. But I honestly don't really see why that hit has happened. But so if someone could tell me that in the comments down below, why Morphing Jar deserved the hit, you know, maybe you could justify it to me. Morphing Jar 2, however, is another story. Morphing Jar 2 is a one-card game winner. In the I can't remember the name of it now. The not Artifact, the Jackpot 7 deck. There's Jackpot 7 deck which basically just focuses on getting to Morphing Jar 2, creature swapping it, attacking into it with your own guy, and then you win. So there's also another variant which is like it plays like Empty Jar. It's just Morphing Jar 2's creature swaps. And then it focuses on just flipping and setting the Morphing Jar 2 in your opponent's turn. Sorry, in your turn 3 times. And then it mills and mills and mills and mills and gets to, until it gets to the Jackpot 7. Or you just play the deck with the one Morphing Jar 2 and you just mill the entire deck out with a Morphing Jar 2. Bit crazy, right? Yeah. So now you understand why that's gone. So that's gone because there's loads of degenerate Jackpot 7 decks doing the rounds. YouTube those if you don't know what they do. So now let's move to the Limited list, which is probably the most interesting thing about this list, if we can call anything interesting about it. Let's talk about Wolfbark. Wolfbark is actually kind of upsetting to me. It's kind of what I didn't want to see hit, but at the same time, it's a hit on Fire nonetheless. I wanted to see Fire get a big hit, because Fire's been very boring for me this format, and it will continue to be boring in the next format, because it is going to be playable. It's going to be very playable next format, which depresses me. Wolfbark going to 1 really doesn't change very much, especially seeing as the deck very recently has been playing Call of the Haunted. Now, the trick with Call of the Haunted is, yes, it's a little less searchable than Wolfbark, but the one Wolfbark is still searchable. So you can search that one Wolfbark off your Tenki, get it out of the way, try and use it, and you are going to have access to it later on in the Fire matchup. And the Call of the Haunted are probably going to stick around because MSTs are going on Tenkis and other Fire formations. It's going to go off, and that Wolfbark going to 1 really doesn't hurt too much. A lot of games that I suffer most in against Firefist, I'll only see the one Wolfbark because they'll basically be pushing for attrition with their bears, and when they actually need to make a push, like into the Tiger King bear play to get over Leo and things like that, that's when they use the Wolfbark. But they very rarely, in my experience, use the Wolfbark. And by upping your Tensu count, I think Tensu's the one, the double summoner. But by upping your Tensu count, you basically, for a slight minus cost, it's not the same thing, but you basically eliminate the weakness that Wolfbark going down caused, because you still have speed and you're still able to make Exceeders. So Wolfbark going to 1 upsets me. It also upsets me in the Fire Kings. It means my Fire King build is going to be cheaper when I eventually build Fire Kings. But at the same time, 3 Wolfbark was really strong in that deck, and it going to 1, it's kind of upsetting. I really wish it had been Tenki. I really do wish it had been Tenki. Tenki shouldn't be at 3 because Rota's at 1. Like, search cards, that generic, and it really gives Bujin a good stead moving into the next format as well. Bujin is quite good. Quite good. I mean, it's not amazing, it's definitely not going to be the best deck in the next format, especially when Primal Origin comes out. Even with the new stuff, I don't think it's going to be the best deck. I don't think that the new Bujin Beast Warrior is that good. It's good, but could be better. We're going to dismiss this low battery sign because I was reading the list on my phone. And we're going to move on to... Shut up, Facebook. Abyss going to 1 is a good hit. I like that. It slows down the 4 spam pushes, which Mermail has become very known for recently. It slows the deck down to a state it's a little slower, but it's definitely not awful. Turge and Pike may see a shift in numbers. You may see maybe Turge going up and Pike going down as people try to counteract that. But I feel that the Mermail build is definitely going to shift in another direction. I don't think the deck is unplayable by any stretch of the imagination. I think the deck is still very valid. I might find myself going back to my old style builds with multiple Megalos, Diva, etc. While I try and get myself used to this, but I definitely see myself playing Mermail in the next format to come. Moving on to Rekindling. Rekindling going to 1 is fine by me. It stops degenerate Larval OTKs and the Quasar deck. I'm really glad Quasar didn't come out over here before the Larval deck. While the Larval deck had 3 Rekindlings, because I really hate losing to that on DN. So Quasar not being out here is pretty cool. Otherwise, Rekindling going to 1 is cool because Fire Kings only play the 1 Rekindling anyway, and that's the only other deck that really plays Rekindling, and 3-Axis Fire, but 3-Axis Fire, it's okay. But Rekindling going to 1, that's fine. All the decks that played it at kind of a balanced ratio aren't going to suffer because they only play 1 to 2, and you should only really be playing 1 anyway because it clogs. And yeah, nothing else to say on that matter. And something that a lot of players are going to be really happy about is Infernity Barrier going to 1. Now, I don't think this hurts Infernities a particularly large amount. It just means that Infernity Break is now staple at 3. The Infernity deck can still go off. It can still set off a huge board. And with a combination of things like 7 Tools of the Bandit, which some of them have been playing, and other generic back row negation, like I guess Dark Bribe, it can fill in for that. I really don't advise Dark Bribe though, but it's something. It's able to fill in for that lack of barrier. Playing 3 Break means that instead, when you make your full play, you'll just search Barrier, Break instead of Barrier, Break, or Barrier. You'll just search less barriers. You just have to use that one barrier correctly, and you break all the other threats. So it's pretty good. Like Dark Hole's rarely played in the main deck. So I don't really see that many things that you're going to have to barrier that you couldn't break. So I don't think that's that much of a hit. This is kind of quick, kick the tripod. That's how you make good videos. I don't think this list really changes that many things. It's really annoying actually because the face of the game, the way I'm seeing this, really doesn't change. It slows a lot of things very slowly. But I like ban lists with a good bit of momentum shift. I like ban cards coming back. I was praying for Zen Mighty this whole time. I wanted Trishula. I almost bought a Cyberstein in case it came back. I have a dual terminal Exterio in the post that I invested in. I made a lot of investments for this list, and I'm not upset to say none of them are that bad. I haven't lost money, but the Exterio, which was $1, was now a bad investment. But it's a DTE Exterio, and I like Exterios. But no drama. There's nothing big in this list, which really upsets me. We'll look at semi-limited now. Necroface going to 2. Now, a good friend of mine, well, I say good friend of mine, someone I haven't spoken to in a while, but a friend of mine who played Removed from Play deck ages ago, back when Fissure and Macro were at 3. And I'm sorry about the squeaky chair. Macro and Fissure were at 3. He's going to love this because he had a big Removed from Play deck with Chaos Zones, and I might be able to tinker around with the Necroface. But Necroface going to 2 doesn't really change too much. I don't think there's any decks that could really abuse it at the moment. Maybe someone will break something, but I really don't think there's going to be a Necroface deck anytime soon. So, Necroface going to 2 is pretty cool, and its main interaction cards, which are Macro and Fissure, are both at 1. So, I think they're okay at that. And then otherwise, Hieratic Seal of Convocation from 3 to 2. I think this is good. I still think Hieratic, so we're going to be really good going into the next format. Possibly a little bit better because this hit doesn't hurt them that much. You might start seeing Nebthet a little bit more because I know some builds didn't play Nebthet, but I really don't think this changes very much at all. And then otherwise, the cards that were completely unlimited, we really don't need to talk about. Magical Stone Excavation is only played in Degenerate Exodia deck, and even that doesn't play it that often anymore. Especially in the Dragon variant, it doesn't play it at all. But in the Golden Bamboo Sword build, it is seen in that, so maybe that makes it a bit more consistent. I honestly don't know how the fuck the deck works, so I can't really say. And Primal Seed going from 1 to 3 is pointless. Because no one ever played it at 1, because no one wants to Primal Seed, no one wants to have that many inconsistent cards in their deck. In a deck, it's impossible to build a deck that focuses on BLS. So Primal Seed going to 3 does nothing. So overall, we have a list of, to summarize, let's look at our Forbidden. It does something. It knocks out a degenerate deck. Cool. Means I won't have to suffer through that at Nationals. Okay. Everything that went to 1. Wolfbark, doesn't really touch the deck. Gund hurts the current version of the deck, but doesn't hurt the deck as a whole. Rekindling hurts degenerate deck, doesn't hurt other decks. Infernity Barrier hurts the degeneracy of lol, I went first and opened my combo pieces. Doesn't change that much. So let's see. 4 cards that don't change that much. There's the trend for the 1s. For the 2s, Necroface doesn't change that much. It's not going to be used. Hieratic Seal going to 1 doesn't change that much. So you see the trend building, and then everything that went to 3 is boring and unplayed. That's why it went to 3. I wanted to see something interesting. For a minute, I misread the list earlier and thought Tengu went to 3 and jumped for joy. And then I misread it. It was the bloody magical stone underneath it that had gone to 3, or something like that. No, I was reading Tengu in the wrong area. So, yeah, I'm a little upset because this list didn't give me anything exciting. I guess that makes me, I don't know. It just means that I'm going to be playing another 3 or 4 months of the same, really, before Primal Origin. Things haven't really changed that much. I'm sorry to create a pessimistic video. I know it's been a while since we had a chatty video, but I'm sorry it's so pessimistic, but I guess that's how I feel. If you've watched all the way through this video, thank you very much. Please go down to the comment section down below and let me know your thoughts on this list. And let me know 1 card you wanted to see come back. I'm going to let you know a few right now. I wanted to see, and don't talk to me about game balance before I say any of this. This is dream cards. I wanted to see Zen Mighty, one of these, any one of these. Zen Mighty, Trishula, Glow Up Bulb. There was one other I was thinking of that I just cannot remember now. It's just disappeared. I wanted to see something Wind Up come back because I really wanted to play Wind Ups. I'm probably still going to play it because Tenki's still at 3. Or Tenki's still at 3 on this new list. But it's kind of sad, and I'm hoping this gets uploaded the day I record it, which is literally 10 minutes after the list went up. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. And please check out my Facebook page, which is going to be in the down. I'll see you guys when I see you. This is MagendaKid00. Thank you very much for watching, and welcome to the April format. Bye-bye.